Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included here in our 100 duplicant challenge. The previous episode we spent building, improving and developing certain aspects of the base. Today I want to get started by considering something here mentioned in the comment section. It has been mentioned that I, technically don't need the large power transformers and we can just go all out with heavy watt wire, and I tend to actually agree with that assessment. Like, we're still going to be needing the smart battery, but we could also have like a battery here and there, for instance, and then utilize the space here maybe for cooling. So I actually really like that premise, and therefore we're gonna deconstruct all of this. I'm also gonna get rid of the wires, and this way we can make use of the copper that we don't have to process in order to hook everything up, and eventually it doesn't really matter, right? We can then also move up here and kind of go over, make sure all of the electrolyzers are powered, and then these three pumps as well. Then right here at the bottom, we could wiggle some pipes, maybe do some cooling, and we can even connect the two rooms. So the temperature can actually be seeping over from the hydro generator room to the electrolyzer room and vice versa. This means now that we have unlocked the metal tiles, we could go ahead and start replacing these, for instance, right there. Now we don't necessarily have to do it, and I think we can also do it later on. So for now, I'm not going to do it. But what we have to consider is where to set up the heavy watt joint plate. And I've been thinking we could do it on this side, or we just utilize the ladder. But it would also be nice to keep the ladder in place just for easy access. Like right in this place, we're going to be needing a joint plate because we don't want the hydrogen or the gases to mix. Just the temperatures will be okay, but the gases themselves shouldn't mix. However, as soon as I set up the heavy watt joint plate here, then of course my dupes will not be able to go down and build everything, use the pitcher pump. Inside the stone crusher, I started processing the eggshell to lime and then copper ore to copper. We're still constantly producing that, but it is time to switch to a metal refinery. We want to be a little bit more efficient about this. You know what? I just noticed that hatchlings themselves, they actually only get 100 cycles old. So any hatchling that is born in this playthrough is going to outlast it. But on the other side, just look at all the food we have now. There's even some just laying on the floor. It is absolutely unbelievable. Like, I've never seen that. Maybe, just maybe, we can now get rid of this microbe musher that is additionally creating the mush bars. Maybe only 4 of them are going to be enough as of this point. Now, another tip you gave me is to forget about the grub in terms of ranching them. Personally, what I should do is just put a ranch together with a bunch of spindly grub fruit and then the sweetles, and then allow the sweetles to lay grub eggs, get these eggs hatched, and then just take the meat from the grub. The issue is 100 cycles are just not enough to get the production going. The same thing with the Dracos. In order to get the Dracos going, you just need some initiation time. And like the hatches, they have been ready so quick. It's only cycle 17 and I almost have 2 ranches already full. Now, as soon as I have enough stone hatchlings, I will switch that to all stone. And I guess as of cycle 50, we're gonna have a full 3 stables worth of hatches. Still, that means I'm gonna adapt my strategy slightly, and we just leave enough space here to farm the sweetles with a grooming station, and we don't even need a feeding station. So maybe just 3 tiles worth is going to be enough, and the rest is going to be farm tiles. We set up a grooming station and a drop-off point. As for the polluted water here in our fish tank, I think I don't really want it to off-gas, so we're gonna have a quick layer of water here. If I just switch that and check the errands, maybe, yeah, somebody should be taking care of that soon. By the way, right now I would like to set up some critter sensors as well, so I can better check how many critters I have in here and what I have to do. For instance, right now these guys are cramped because there is somewhere a egg, but that reminds me, maybe we're gonna cook up 2 more of the hatchling eggs. Right here at the bottom, we now have a collection of carbon dioxide and no oxygen production, which of course is a little bit of a problem, especially for people who want to dig here. And an easy solution that is very resource intensive, but it works, is the algae terrarium. It works absolutely without power, takes a little bit of algae, but also quite a bit of water. Like 300 grams per second, that is quite a tall order. But let's maybe place it right here and it can just produce a little bit passively. I want to get access to those sweetles right here, but instead of transporting them here, I want to copy the settings and transport them upstairs. Maybe lower the priority of the first drop-off point there a little bit. Now thinking about it, it would be nice to already get access to this cold polluted water, because then we could just drop it all the way down here and kind of start cooling this down in the process as well. And really all we have to do is bring this all the way over here and then let it dribble down at this point. I'm actually not so sure about this. Let's approach it from this side without opening it up, so that we can start placing the insulated tiles here, bring it all the way over here, and then if we let it drop right there, it should just drop all the way down, and then we can collect it here at the bottom together with all of the other polluted water. Now this is not usually something I would do in a normal run because of the eyesore and that I cannot continue my ladder shaft, but we cannot continue the ladder shaft either way with this guy. Plus it is only a challenge run that is going to end at cycle 100. I do not mind too much. But this means we want to continue the ladders all the way up, and then maybe at this point we're gonna have a secondary floor right there, and this is where the ladders eventually are gonna continue up this shaft. I now have a layer of water here, so it is not off-gassing anymore. What other things do I have to check? This has all been deconstructed. Yeah, let's maybe move the smart batteries. We're gonna have 2 of them like so, and then I can get rid of this first one. Also, let's make sure that the cabling is all set up. I will then also need an Atmos sensor. One we're going to place on this side. Do we already have enough pumps? Yeah, it looks like. So one is going to be located, say, right there, and the other one right there. And they're going to steer each set of pumps. So all of these guys will be hooked up like so. And all of these guys will be hooked up like so. And then all we need is another sensor. Now, should we do it? Yeah, maybe we're going to do it with even pressure. So if we have both a certain amount of pressure on either sensor, we could do that with an AND gate. If I'm not mistaken, we are researching that right now. Yeah, look at that. There are AND or buffer and filter gates. That means what we can do is maybe go into the AND gate like so. The output is somewhere going to be in either of these slots, and it's going to activate the 3 pumps right there. I have now my critter sensors hooked up. I want to see the current count and then send a signal if we go above this count. Say I'm sending a green signal when I'm above the count, which at the moment I shouldn't be. If we check the room size here, it's 8 critters, and this also counts the eggs. If you just watch here, then it only counts the critters, 8 of 8, and right here I can decide what should be counted. Oh, look at this. Because this guy here came with ranching 1 right off the bat, we can now get into ranching 2. Very nice. Not that it unlocks anything new, but it's just nice. I might want to speed up the process of getting to these critters and actually wrangling them up, so we can get them over there to their new stable. And right here we want to set up the grub fruits. So maybe we're just gonna replant some of them. Depends a little bit on how much they grew. Yeah, some of them are already too far into the process for me to want to stop them. Like this guy here is good. Let's uproot this guy, and 12% is also good to uproot. But all the other ones I'm just gonna let grow. Maybe we're just gonna prevent them from being planted. So now we can focus on planting these guys here instead, and the Sweetles will be able to take advantage of the fruit. Now, I totally missed that I was running low on algae, only 3 tons left. Fortunately enough, I did not take advantage of all the deposits just yet. I kind of wanted to keep this under wraps because of the chlorine. It is gonna spread all over the place if I just open this up. But even if I approach it from a different side, it is still gonna spread because the oxygen or the gases in general are spread thin as well. And then we'll have some eye irritation problems and such. You know, maybe we can manage to store some of the chlorine away so it doesn't spread all over the place. If I build this here, this is still gonna be secure, and then we can make a little liquid lock. It doesn't need to be a strong liquid lock, I just need to be able to access it, and I think I want to do this very quickly. Yeah, because we are running low on algae. So maybe temporarily we dig a little bit more into the algae here and just grab some of this juicy stuff. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I still have plenty of algae left before I really have to get into a different source. Yeah, look at that. I mean, there's algae everywhere. It's actually kind of insane how little I used compared to the previous attempt. Now, if we really want to speed things up, I probably also need a couple of incubators. They take 240 watts each. We could do this with a simple coal generator setup. So I'm just gonna have 2 coal generators together with a smart battery right there. Gonna hook up the battery like so. Gonna take some conductive wire and hook this up to a couple of incubators. And then for each incubator, I probably also want to have a signal switch and then turn it on and off just once a day. And we're gonna do this manually since it's only for 100 cycles, but I only really want to have this enabled until one of my ranchers took care of the hogging process. But this way we can tremendously speed up the hatching progress. I also want to give myself access to the teleporter there. And then eventually it would also be nice to hop over here, go down a little bit in order to grab the grub fruits. The algae terrarium is now doing its thing, not emitting a lot of oxygen, but at least a little bit. You know, as a matter of fact, why not set up all of these incubators right away? And all of these are also going to have their independent signal switch. Now, I just noticed both of my slime storages are full. This is a bad mistake because now we have slime lung germs at the bottom again. I did not notice that, but some of the slime is now off-gassing, and of course this is producing slime germs. I think now it's also time to get this water out of here. If I just set up a pump, I should be able to just go through here and then possibly bring this all the way over, which this is then eventually going to end up a little bit further up here in my freshwater pool. Just a little bridge here and then liquid vent right there. Now I can go ahead, set up a little something here. I just want to bring a little bit of water over. And once that's done, we can set up a gas pump and maybe start collecting the gases, right? We can just bring them over here into the gas reservoir. And we'll just grab the power here from our existing wire. There's my water. I just want to make sure that one drop drops, and that's all we require. Just a little drop here. Now, this is a good temperature. That means we can take this apart, and as soon as this is open, we still have the chlorine trapped, and we'll be able to pump it out before actually entering this area. Okay, looks like our incubators are almost gonna be ready. I'm gonna try to speed up a grub egg. And furthermore, I also would like to speed up the hatching of the stone hatchling. I also need to get a little bit more pressure into these chambers, so I decided to also hook up an oxygen diffuser to the same system here. We've also made some progress here towards the chlorine deposits, and also I would like to get access to all of this precious algae. The pump is also working and collecting some of the stuff in the gas reservoir. Very nice. We now finally started to pump the water here, and it is going directly into our storage, just in the nick of time. I mean, we still have plenty left. We're definitely doing much better than the previous time, and as we're speaking, I'm already making my way towards the next 2 water sources that we're gonna try to combine. Okay, now I kind of have to hurry up with getting more algae. And maybe as a next step, we can already think about the refinery. Metal refinery, I'm gonna put that somewhere here. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. It's gonna take about 1200 watts to run, doesn't it? Yes. So that means we could get away with another coal generator setup, which I think I'm gonna do. The biome is probably pretty cold. Yeah, -28. So if I just used polluted water, that wouldn't really work, at least not reliably. Maybe I wanna check out what we find over here. Could be something precious, but for the time being, I just want to use this biome and also the upstairs. Maybe we could even do it upstairs. Actually, that might be the much better idea. Like, we do it right here, and we're not gonna seep the heat through, and I'm just gonna make myself a little entryway right there. But then we still want to find out what we can find over here, and potentially even make use of the weezeworts. Another thing I wanted to do was to add a fish feeder. It is about time, and I think, yeah, we can probably already reach this. So I think I'm just gonna put this guy right here, and then I guess if we want to, we can also add a fish release. Though maybe let me do this a little bit further over, so we can still utilize the bottle emptier. While we're waiting for this water to be pumped out, my suggestion would be to add the gas pipes. 2 of these pumps are gonna combine into one pipe. This is why I placed them diagonally of each other. You cannot run the initial pipe through the other one. This is not gonna work out. But like this, we can grab all of the oxygen and just distribute them into the pipes. And there will be one left over, but we can combine that with the last one that is left over here. And then we do the very same thing here. This means overall we will have 10 full pipes of oxygen if the system is running at capacity that we can distribute all over the place. And how are we gonna distribute that? I don't know yet. So I think what I'm gonna do is just bring them all the way up here. And then even if I start to run the system, I can still choose where all of these pipes are gonna go. And I think as of this point, I'm gonna build them out of insulated materials. That absolutely makes sense. As for the hydrogen, I want to make sure we use the hydrogen to cool this room down. So I don't want to go directly into the hydrogen generators, but I kind of want to distribute it first. I'm gonna build these out of iron, but aluminium would be much better. Anyways, it should still be working out. So let's just make our way over here and then kind of wiggle down. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here. If one hydrogen generator takes 100 grams of hydrogen per second and I have 10, that would be 1 kilogram, so one entire pipe or just one pump for each half. That means I'm gonna use the third pump to get the hydrogen out of here, and then the other ones here are gonna be used to keep the room cool. If I do it, let me think, there might be a nice pattern. Okay, I think I got it, but it utilizes some bridges, goes over here and there, then around, goes back this way, and then down, goes over here, and then up, goes over there, and then it goes into all the various slots. And I'm gonna do something similar over here, but because it's asymmetrical, so I'm gonna find another solution for this one. Okay, the solution on the left side isn't quite as elegant, but it's gonna work out, and I'm gonna allow my duplicants to build it. We could then think about our cooling system. Basically, we run some cool liquid behind it and then run the O2 through it so that when the O2 arrives at our base, it's gonna have a nice and cozy temperature. The question is, do we have enough space for that? Not really. Well, we theoretically only need a couple of tiles to cool it down, but then we cannot just run it through willy-nilly. Yeah, can we do it with just 2 spaces? I wonder. I mean, it could be enough, honestly. I wonder, out of gold and iron and copper, what is the best? We got 4 thermal conductivity here, then 8 thermal conductivity, that would be good, and 9 here. What was that? The copper one. So we best do it with copper out of the materials we own. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit troublesome in terms of space, honestly, because we only have 9 tiles and the pipes are gonna get in the way. Yeah, gosh, the routing of the pipes is gonna be a pain in the butt. Okay, I went over the drawing board again, and I think this way it just makes so much more sense. We still have the pipe in the center just going up, but now the ones on the right and the left are just primarily cooling the 2 tiles just above the hydrogen generators, and then it's going through the generators, filling these up and doing some more cooling at the bottom. The same thing here on the other side. That means we have 2 pumps dedicated to feed 5 hydrogen generators each. Then for the oxygen pipes, I decided to go with a routing such as this. This is all gonna go somewhere into the base and being distributed, except for the pipe here at the bottom that is gonna feed some oxygen towards the cellar. We're now making our way towards the algae deposit. This is going to be quite a bit of algae for us to dig up, and it's going to be plenty of time to get the other oxygen system rolling. Our fish feeder is in place, and I think to begin with, what we want to do, let's just go into Paku, and we want to feed it some algae in order to tame it, and then we can switch to seeds. I'm not sure if that is actually correct. By the way, we already collected 18 dream journals, so very soon we should see the effects of this machine, and I cannot wait for it. Oh, looks like my batteries are finally charged up here. That means we can get these 2 incubators rolling, and soon enough one duplicant should come by. I'm also waiting for some more algae to be delivered. However, we are lacking the algae. For some reason they neglected this job. Probably I did not speed up the ladder or prioritize it, but then I just did a whole bunch here of algae, so they should at least now be focusing on it. And here we have our first rancher hogging the grub egg, and as soon as that is is done, we can actually turn off the machine again, so we don't constantly use the 240 watts. We can see it here, incubated and lullabied, and even if I shut this off now, it is still lullabied, right? Oh, this one just ran out of power, so I should probably just do one at a time. There we go, and it is lullabied. That means we can shut off the machine. 74 builder just got himself trapped. This is like a really bad situation. Now I need to get, I mean, it's just 32 grams, while here it is quite a bit more. Yeah, I don't really see a quick way for this guy to be saved unless we manage to build 2 ladders. What kinds of materials do we have? I actually have no building materials here, just some iron ore and stuff. Yeah, I don't think we have a choice. We just have to go ahead and going to dig. Okay, at least he's digging these 2 tiles, and then we try to block it off as soon as possible again. Come on, you have to save yourself. 1 tile gone and another one. Oh no. Yeah, you can do it. Okay, and now get out of here quick. Trying to get these 2 tiles built here as soon as possible. Number 84 is really quick, but you're gonna have irritated eyes now. Okay, we're back to almost 4 tons of algae. That means this guy here should go as well. Maybe we have to prioritize it a little bit. Yeah, there we go. 66 is on its way. Looks like we have a breach through here. This is very good. I'm also gonna dig this one up, and now it is just dribbling down, going to join my already collected polluted water. And through this process, it is actually gonna heat up enough and maybe even cool down this slightly so we can get it up to the base below the 30 degrees, which is the minimum. I mean, the point is, if we want to feed it to our bristle blossoms, it has to stay quite a bit below the 30 degrees, honestly. Alright then, with all that progress out of the way, we're gonna wrap it up for today's episode and continue right away at this point in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Have a great time and see you in the next one. Bye bye.